And welcome to week number 2 of the MEA GT Championship Series here at Suzuka. I'm SSR Mayhem, bringing you the live action here today as we got about 20 drivers in the race field. Just waiting on one to see if they're going to show up or not, and then we are about to begin the race. Alright, so we'll be getting going here in a moment. And it looks like Mute's not going to make the show, so we're going to get going without a couple of the drivers here today. And here we go. So drivers are underway, and we got 22 laps here to see what everyone can do, as Delete will take the charge here in lap number 1 off the start. Looks like Bobberts went off the racetrack just a little bit back there, and now he's falling off pace just a little bit. Delete right now holding off RBM Vinny for that first spot, while you got Hydra sitting there in the third trying to battle up for that second position. And you see Yem right there in that 5th spot trying to get an outside run. Wasn't able to secure that spot from Jansen, who's moved up a position now. Bobberts, he fell all the way back to 11th after falling off the racetrack just a little bit. You can see there's 2 packs right now. Looks like a little bit of hiccups happened early on in this one. But there is a pit stop this week, ladies and gentlemen. So unlike last week, where we didn't have a pit stop, drivers will have to make one stop in this race. And Delete, he's really leading the charge right now so far here at lap number 1. And he's looking good. He started a little bit further back a few positions, able to get that nice jump off the line. Looks like we have a driver way off pace. That's RBM Braddock back there in that 19th spot. Not sure what happened to him. Hopefully he has no damage on the car. Let's go take a look real quick. Hopefully this won't make anybody lag out, because you know. And he's all right, so looks like he just had a little bit of a hiccup early in this one, but let's go check out the battle for second right now, as it's between Hydra and Vinny. Delete's doing a fantastic job getting into a good start in this race. And you see Vinny, where the Jag has the speed and acceleration, the Nismo is stronger in the midsection of these racetracks, as Vinny's having to hold off Hydra right now for position. And they were like this last time when they got on this part of the stretch. It looks like Hydra's got a little bit of a run. He's going to get right in front of Vinny there, take over that second spot. Now Vinny's going to have to work hard to stay with that Nismo in this part of the track, because that Nismo is very strong through the windy sections of the course. So Delete has a little bit of breathing room for right now. And let's go a little bit further back. It looked like Starlord almost went off the track there right behind Markey. Was able to hold on to. He's currently battling side by side right now. Looks like he lost the position from AMS. I believe that's, nope, I'm sorry, that's Bobberts. SSR Bobberts, he's moved up 2 positions now. And a battle for 7th is emerging as SSR Bobbers now caught to the tail end of SSR Markey there for that 7th spot. And you see right there, looks like Markey's now going to have to do some defending here with SSR Bobbers. Bobbers, who started in that 2nd spot, is already dropped back from unfortunate circumstances, battling bumper to bumper with SSR Markey as they come across the stripe. Battling for position right now, and Mark's going to make him work for it, looks like. Looks like Mark's going to take the inside line, gets a little loose to the outside. Bobbers goes down to the inside, side by side, coming off a 1. Markey almost clips the grass right there. Bobbers give him space. Oh! Oh! And they connect! Not sure what happened right there. Not sure if there was a glitch or some type of connection right there. Looked like Bobbers tried to check up the track a little bit to let him have the space, but was unable to do it. There's a battle for the 9th spot. Yankee and SSR Yami side by side, almost coming off of the corner. And there's GTR Turbo right there as well in that 11th spot. First appearance this season. Last week wasn't able to be with us. And looks like we might have lost somebody. Not sure who that was. We did lose somebody. We basically waiting here a second. PTG Darius, and Darius once again having connection issues as last week he also disconnected early in the race, and it's unfortunate. Darius has a lot of speed and just has not been able to complete an event yet, with at least here at MEA, and we hope to see him back in the upcoming weeks. But he will get position points as he will finish 19th on the grid today, and we'll have to have better luck in the future. Near future, I should say, as Jay Yankee's still working to try to get to Yami. Let's go further up and let's see how the battle. Oh, but there, Hydra's in the pits. Delite's in the pits. They decide to take pit stops, as Yem did as well. So a couple of drivers taking early pit stops. SSR Markey looking like to be another one of the drivers that has entered the pits as well. So we'll have to see how that plays out for them, as they have just elected to take an earlier pit strategy here in this one. Right now riding along with LA Feedy. Feedy was having a couple of issues last night in qualifying, not able to really get something going, but we were able to get him in. But here's a battle for the 11th place spot with RBM Surprise and FLA The Stick. Surprise, who started 19th in this one, has already moved up some positions now, and he's currently battling with the Stig right there. So it looks like the Stigs lose a little ground on there. You see RBM Braddock right there in that 13th spot. He's trying to get into the mix as well. And we go further up the track. Let's go check on the race leader, RBM Vinny. He's all by himself right now. I'm not sure what had happened, because Hydra and Delete both took an early pit stop. I wonder if they connected early in the race, which caused this giant gap between the race leader and the 2nd place car, RDE Jansen, who's been very strong in past series we've seen, and the first time we've seen him here in the GT Championship Series. And he's been doing very well. Week 1 did a fine job. There's AMSB Shadow right there in the mix as well in that 3rd spot. Bobbers and Starlord back there as well, 4th and 5th. And you pull up the race map, you can see the guys that have pitted recently. And Gal, I believe Pikachu as well took a pit stop. And she did. She's right there in 17th. Delete and Yem are currently battling out. So yes, something had happened to Hydra in Delete. Must have, because Delete was in the lead when we last checked. So not sure what happened with those two drivers as we get on with the LMP Yem, who's trying to put pressure on him right now. So these two are currently battling out after a pit cycle. Get back on with Turbo right now, as he's currently in a battle with LMP Amoeba and SMXJ Yankee. So Turbo making some noise right now as he hits a cone right there. Goes to the inside of Amoeba, slides up just a little bit right in front of him, was able to clear him. And just like that, he's able to hang on to that position. Amoeba starting to struggle just a little bit right there. I know Amoeba had a paint on his car for the A, but let's take a look to see. Yep, it never loaded in. Oh, unfortunate, but nothing you can do about it. Let's go check out further in the back of the field here. Let's get on. Well, let's get on with RBM Braddock. There's a little spread out right now for some of these drivers, as he's now catching up to the Stig, who's losing ground on Surprise. RBM Braddock now trying to take over that 12th place spot. And there's FLA Feedy. He's entering pit road already as well in this one. Right in front of these two, you have Surprise, who's trying to catch up to the three-car Nismo battle between GTR Turbo, LMP Amoeba, SMXJ Yankee. So a little bit of stuff going on here. And then right behind these guys, you got this man, last year's champion, Hydra, currently out there representing. Not sure what had happened to him early in this race. We got to wonder what had happened between him and Delete. Why did they make the early pit stop? Was it planned? We don't know. As it looks like Bobberts has caught up to the rear end of B Shadow. He is, and he's side by side with B Shadow, the Jag against the Nismo. After an earlier incident with SSR Markey, able to try to, well, Bobberts actually had a couple of instances. He flew off the racetrack early in the race and then got collected with Markey battling for position, and just has been basically trying to rebound. B Shadow makes a mistake, and that gets Bobberts to the inside of him to try to go and chase down Jansen for that second spot. But the Jag has the speed. Is the Jag going to get to the rear bumper of Bobberts coming around the bend? Doesn't look like it. Right behind them is SSR Starlord in the M3. And for you that have never watched the MEA GT Championship Series, it's one of the biggest events in MEA every year, if not the biggest event, one that the regular group would like to win a title in. And the nice thing about this series is there is no mandatory stops halfway through the season. There's no forced car choice, so you have every week that you can pick amongst all the GT cars. That's why you see different ones out on the racetrack. They are on a base stock tune, and you're forced to run that stock tune. Now the thing is every other week it switches back and forth between mandatory and non-mandatory pit stops. So the drivers have strategy as part of the season, and then the skill set obviously as well. But it's a mixture of everything, and these guys got to decide what cars are best for them for the particular week that they're in. Now we do have a couple of twists and turns this season. We got a reverse grid, couple of reverse grids this year. We have another weathered race just like last year, which I believe is next week at Hockenheim. I'd have to check the schedule on that one. And obviously you have a night race at the end of the year in the championship round, or for the season I should say, here in the GT Championship Series. So right now you see the battle here between Turbo, Amoeba, and Yankee. They're still going at it, but not really battling a whole lot, just kind of sticking to one another for the most part. Looks like Braddock is still working on the Stig Hydra's starting to slowly catch up to them. Delete had lost a position to EM. And then Markey and Feedy look like they're doing a little bit of exchanging back there for positions as SSR Pikachu's right in front of them. Meanwhile, RBM Vinny is way out front right now. What's going on with the Yans in here? Because it looks like Bobberts is trying, and Bobberts made a mistake there, so he's not going to actually be on his bumper anytime soon. So we're trying to find the battles on the racetrack for you guys. So not a whole lot going on right now. We can ride with Jay Yankee over that 3-car Nismo battle. GTR Turbo, LMP Amoeba, SMX J Yankee, 7th, 8th, and 9th right now. Amoeba is entering pit road. And that'll leave these two out in the dust. And you wonder if Yankees will be able to stick to Turbo. You wonder if that draft on these stretches have kept those cars relatively close. We know the cars are very strong in the grippier sections of the racetrack. Let's check on Starlord. He was right there behind Beast. And there he is right now battling with Beast Shadow for 4th position. As you look behind them, there's Bobberts and Jansen, 2nd and 3rd. You've got SSR Yami in that 6th spot. Can't forget about him. He's driving the Audi. So right now, Starlord is in a low ground on Beast Shadow. After going through the last couple of sections, you got SSR Yami there, not too far off as well. He's trying to catch up. Bobbert's still working on Jansen. Go back to Braddock as he was trying to get around FLA to stick. And right now, looks like he's currently battling with Jim Hydra. Hydra, who took an earlier pit stop in this race. Not sure if he got into it with the lead or not. They both had to make an early pit stop. Vinny had a pretty monstrous gap after we realized that. So right now, oh! And he almost spun Braddock out right there. Braddock just not able to, almost lost the car, was able to hold on to the car. Hydra having to back off just a little bit right there. And RB and Braddock still being able to hold on to his position right now as Jim Hydra right there behind him trying to get that spot back. A couple drivers in the pits, it looks like. And that would be SSR Bobberts entering pit road. So Bobberts had decided to go into the pits this lap. Probably trying to collect himself a little bit after the rough first half to the race. And Hydra still having a battle with Braddock. Braddock looks like he's just holding him up just a little bit right now. So Hydra's trying everything he can to get around him. Hydra looks to the inside, nothing there. The M3 hanging on tight. You can see where Hydra's a lot better in the turns than the M3. Oh. And Hydra gets to the outside. They're still bumping and banging. And Hydra not able to complete it. Braddock got a nice run through the hairpin, was able to get that spot right back from Hydra. So right now, championship contender since week 1. Actually, everyone still is a championship contender based on off the top 5 drivers right now. Not able to make the show today. Not sure what happened to him. And Hydra's trying to let him know, man, I'm right here. Let me on by. And, oh! Braddock almost clipped the tire while trying to fend off Hydra, and Hydra was able to get the run around him, so Hydra able to continue on, and that will put Braddock back in position. There's Bobberts right in front of the lead right now. So Vinny's pretty much had this one in his favor for the most part since the start of this race. He hasn't had to deal with a whole lot. You see right there, LMP Amoeba and SSR Pikachu right now as they're battling for that 15th spot. You got Markey not too far behind them, trying to do a regroup of what happened in the beginning of the race. And FLA Distig is in the pit road right now. So, not a whole lot of battles going on right now. But let's get on that 14th place car with SSR Pikachu, who's currently fending off LMP Amoeba and possibly soon SSR Markey. She's trying to keep the car at least in front of there, trying to just keep the car in front of Amoeba right there. Almost clipped the front nose. Right now there's 3 lobbies going on. The C lobby probably coming to a near close real soon. Not sure who will win that one, but we are and Amoeba still working on Pikachu. That's brought SSR Markey into the picture now. Right now, this is one of the only battles we got going on the racetrack right now. Amoeba and Delete have separated a little bit. And there goes Amoeba to the outside of Pikachu, trying to make a run on her. Couldn't do it. Markey getting a nice run through there to catch the tail end of them. And right behind them is FLA Feedy. So a lot going on right now for some of these guys and girl. And Hydra looks like he made another mistake, and he's now battling with Braddock once again, and it seems like these two just can't get away from one another. So we'll see how Yami's doing. He's been hunting down Beast Shadow, and he decides to enter the pits, so he almost wrecks going into the pits. Turbo stays out, moves up to the 2nd spot. So Vinny's back out on the racetrack, and Hydra is the next car behind him. So Hydra lost a little bit of time, looks like, battling with Braddock, but he's going to have to, he has about half a race to go, so about 10 laps here to try to make something happen, to try to get to Vinny and see what happens here at the end. And there's obviously Bobberts as well, who's lost quite a bit of ground since the instance that he's been having. Markey able to get around LMP and MEA now. We'll hop back on with Delete as he's currently fending off LMP. Yeah, they've been battling for the last handful of laps. So Delete still fending off LMPM for the 8th spot right now. Ian stays out on the racetrack. Looks like Yankee, yeah, Yankee stayed out. RBM Surprise. Not sure where he is right now. Yeah, he still hasn't taken a pit stop yet. Currently running in that 3rd spot in front of Vinny and Hydra. Hydra is finally caught up to Vinny. And let's get on that battle now as Hydra's going to try to work on RB and Vinny for that 4th spot. But Vinny clips the grass, and he loses the position from Hydra. Hydra almost involved in an accident with Vinny as Vinny was able to hang on to the car. So, big change of events here now as both these drivers have made a pit stop. Last week, RB and Vinny won at Silverstone. He won on tires, was able to get that car on 90% tires to the end of the final lap where Hydra and not Mute had kind of fallen off at the end. Vinny not able to get into the top 3 in qualifying this week. Doesn't get those extra bonus points. And now he's going to work on RBM Surprise here, possibly. And so here we go. Let's see what RBM Surprise, and he, I believe, still he does need to make that final pit stop. And he decides to stay out on the racetrack. Jansen, he went into the pits now, so RBM Surprise is your race leader at lap number 14 as he's currently fending off Hydra, but Hydra is working on him right now. And he's right on his bumper. The Jags versus the Nismo right now. RBM Vinny right there in the mix as well, as Surprise is kind of in the way as these two are trying to make way, and Surprise fits down to the inside to cover the inside lines. And someone lagged out. GTR Turbo. Not sure what happened to him, but he is now out of this race, and unfortunately he was ranked. So 3 wide into the hairpin. Vinny to the inside and back to the race lead. Whoa, what a move. And Hydra gets loose. Taps with RBM Surprise, side by side, coming off of the turn. Wow. So Hydra right now has got to do a little bit of work again. And the C lobby has come to a close, it seems like. We lost two drivers in this race. GTR Turbo, who just had lagged out, and PTG Darius, who had lagged out earlier in the race. Unfortunately, they were both, well, Turbo was almost able to make it to the end. It's always unfortunate to see drivers lag out late. And the final results of the C lobby, ladies and gentlemen, have come in. And as soon as we can get those final results in, I can tell you, as the battle for the lead is back on between Vinny and Hydra. C lobby winner was SMX Venomous. So congratulations to him on his win today. And Hydra's still trying to work on Vinny now. Vinny's going to get a pretty good gap on him before going into turn one, but then Hydra will be able to kind of creep back in through the S section of the track. And there goes Hydra to the rear bumper of Vinny. Controller just disconnected. That's why we need batteries. I didn't know my controller was dead, guys. Sorry about that. But here we are again, battle for the race lead between Hydra and Vinny. Let's see if there's anything else going on the racetrack right now. Third is SSR Bobbers, fourth RD Gansen, fifth and sixth still battling is Elite and Yem. Starlord 7th, 8th Beast Down, 9th Yankee, 10th Yami, 11th Marky, 12th Amoeba, 13th Pikachu, 14th Surprise, 15th Feedy, 16th Braddock, 17th The Stig, and then GTR Turbo, who lagged out, and PTG Darius. Let's get on Surprise briefly, see how he's doing here. You hear a bunch of Nismos go on by. So as Surprise tries to track down Pikachu, let's go further up into the field and get on with SSR Yami, who I believe is fending off against SSR Marky, which we see right there. Markey, who collided with SSR Bobberts early in this race after Bobberts fell off the racetrack, had fallen way back, has been fighting to get back inside the top 10 since, and he's only got about 5 more laps to do it. And just tuning in, this is week number 2 of the MEA GT Championship Series here at Suzuka. We've only lost 2 drivers in this race, GTR Turbo and PTG Darius. So Yami right now trying to hold off Markey and Amoeba, who've been pretty strong, but have been running with each other for the last several laps. While Yami in the R8 trying to make things happen in the Audi. Markey to the inside of Yami, side by side, going to the chicane, still able to hold it. Yami able to squeeze on through. Amoeba looks to the inside of Markey, but then obviously it switches right around there, and Markey able to hold on to this position for 11th. So Yami now having to hold off Markey and Amoeba again. Markey to the rear bumper of Yami. Oh, Yami clips the grass. Markey gets to the side of him. Side by side, going into the right hanger right there. And Yami loses 2 positions right there from Markey and Amoeba. A little skittish back there for him. And he'll have a bigger run on Amoeba. We'll stay on this real quick. And Amoeba able to get on by. Looks like Yami lifted right there, let them go. Let's get back up to the race 2 leaders right now. And Hydra still working on Vinny. And Hydra doing everything he can right now to get back around Vinny after the rough start he had earlier in the race. Vinny gets a little wide there. Hydra tried to squeeze the needle, but wasn't able to do it. And the final results are in for the B lobby. MRT Truth wins over GRT The Rock. So that was a good win for MRT Truth after missing last week's race. And we'll come back to these guys in a little bit because they're still duking it out with a few laps to go. Let's see what else is going on the racetrack. Right here, we got a battle for the 8th spot between SMXJ Yankee trying to challenge AMSB Shadow. Be shadowed in the middle, holding off Jay Yankee. And it looks like B Shadow's finally keeping his ground. Let's go check a look at the lead right now, as there's only 2 laps to go, as RBM Vinny and Hydra are still battling for the race lead, and we'll hang on with these guys until the end of the race if we have to, because right now this is the position that matters on the racetrack, and they are going at it, trying to see who can win. And Vinny won last week. Hydra ran out of tires and finished 4th in that race. Again, that race was a non-pit stop rule. This one was a pit stop rule. So right now they're good on tires, but 2 totally different cars, different strengths, and obviously 2 different drivers out there doing everything they can to try to get the race win here today. And they've swapped back and forth. We've only seen a handful of leaders throughout the race. So here we go. White flag next time. Does Hydra have an answer for Vinny? Vinny seems like he's been able to find the car as the race progressed. Earlier it seemed like Hydra had a little bit stronger of a car. We know with the section of the track he'll be able to catch him, but he's got to get around him in these sections in order to make something happen. Otherwise the Jag's going to show how strong that acceleration is. Hydra, who's had an up and down race. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Hydra and Bobberts have struggled since the beginning of the race, dealing with different problems. Vinny has had 0 troubles throughout the race, and, well, as you can see here, Hydra's managed to salvage what issues he had. Unfortunately, Bobberts was not able to, and here we go, and Vinny's got to work now. He hasn't had to work too hard for the first half of the race, and obviously during pit cycling was when these 2 came together, so there's Hydra, goes a little bit wide, tries to get a run off the hairpin. Vinny able to hold his line steadily. Hydra tried to make something happen. He got a little loose off the corner there trying to make a run happen, and lost plenty of ground. And white flag this time. The final lap of week 2 here at Suzuka. Can Hydra make something happen late? Post-race interviews coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of the drivers might not be able to, such as Vinny and Jansen, being that they are Brazilian, and I don't believe either one of them are able to speak English, so we'll be able to at least talk to the other few drivers, as right now we're going to see if Vinny can remain on top, as Hydra's in the section that's going to get the car right there. We're coming down to the final wire between these 2 drivers, both of them working very hard to try to stay in front of one another, and Hydra hasn't seen the lead since probably around the lap 14-15, so Vinny's been able to hang strong. Only a few more spots on the track for Hydra to really make something happen. He's right on the bumper. And Hydra, he's got to keep himself relatively close if he wants to have a shot in the final section. Delete had lagged out. He was running 5th with only a couple to go. The final 2 turns. And for the second week in a row in the MEA GT Championship Series, RBM Vinny will win here at Suzuka. Jim Hydra will take 2nd spot. 3rd, RDA Jansen. Not sure what happened to SSR Bobbers and Delete, but Delete looks like he lagged out. Jansen will take the 3rd spot. 4th, coming here, LMPM trying to hang on one more time. He's going to finish a race at MEA. It's LMPM for the 4th spot. Big accomplishment for him. He never usually gets to finish the race. And then Starlord taking the 5th spot. SSR Bobbers, after having a tough race, will finish 6th, and he destroys the wall coming across the line. 7th will be AMSB Shadow. 8th, SMXJ. 9th, SSR Markey. 10th, LMP Amoeba. 11th, SSR Yami. 12th will be RBM Surprise. 13th will be SSR Pikachu. 14th will be FLA Feedy. 15th will be RBM Braddock. 16th will be FLA The Stig. And then obviously the rest of the field rounded out, and we're going to get post-race interviews here next as we are going to talk to a few of the top 5 drivers from the race, and what a wild race that was, as we will get the drivers in here momentarily and talk to them about the race. So just stay tuned, and we'll get these drivers in here very shortly. RBM Vinny, your race winner once again, as we pull into 3 drivers that will be able to speak. The other 2 won't. So just bear with us here in a minute. We'll get those 3 guys in here, as 2 of them's already in here. And and we're just waiting for LMPM. And not sure where he went, but we'll try to get him in here one more time. And it looks like Yim had to get off, so we'll just talk to Starlord and Hydra, and we'll go down the list here real quick. And no worries, Hydra, we'll get with you momentarily. And we're going to start with a few drivers that won't be in here. We'll get to Vinny last, but LMPM was able to finish 4th today. It's a big accomplishment for him. He has had a lot of struggles here at MEA, not being able to complete a race, and was able to get a top 5. So congratulations to him on a solid run here today. And then RD Jansen, very solid performance as he picks up a top 3 spot, finishing that 3rd spot. And let's get to SSR Starlord. And Starlord, make sure that your party audio is on. And congratulations on a top 5 result. Not sure what happened to Delete there at the end. It seems like maybe he had lagged out. I'm not sure. But a top 5 finish in an event that seems to be very tough to get through a 80-car registration field. Out of the 60-something cars that drove today, you were able to get into the A lobby and was able to pick up a good position in the end.
Yeah, I raced hard, and then Bobbert went off into the sand, and then Delete lagged out, so I should have finished 7th, but with those 2 mistakes, and unfortunate mistakes, I was able to get a top 5.
And, you know, Starlord, you talked about, you know, in the past how being consistent is so important. It seemed like you had a very consistent car today, and it didn't seem like you made too many mistakes. Was there any difficulties for you throughout the race today to get to where you were at the end, or was it pretty easy going for you overall?
No, it was pretty easy. I just ran my race, did what I needed to do, just tried not to hit the sand or make any mistakes. I just wanted to go for consistency. And towards the end there, I just started getting high 201s. And I was catching up to Yem, but I couldn't get it. I ran out of time.
And obviously you and B Shadow had a little bit of battling going on. He said GG's on the undercut. Apparently you must have made a pit strategy early on to get around him.
Yeah, I caught up to him, and I was on the back of him in the handling sections, and the acceleration would just take off on me. So I figured, let me try and pit and see if I can get ahead of him, and it worked out to my advantage, and I just started to pull away after that.
Well, Starler, congratulations on a top 5. I believe this is your first top 5 in the GT series. I know last season it was a little bit of a struggle for you on a lot of different sections, but it seems like this season for you, that we've seen you here in MEA and other organizations, you've been getting a lot more consistent. So congratulations on a top 5.
Thank you.
And Hydra, you back?
Yep.
All right, and so that was SSR Starlord, 5th finisher. And then obviously Yam will not be here to talk with us, but we'll get to second place runner-up finisher Jim Hydra. And Hydra, take us through a little bit of your race today. You know, obviously in the beginning of the race, you being in the Nismo kind of was a slower start, so you kind of fell back a few positions, obviously, at the start of the race. And then you took an early pit stop, and I saw you and Delete take a pit stop. My first question is, what happened there between you two? Did you guys plan that pit stop, or was it something that happened?
No, mine was planned, but I accidentally locked up. I locked up both front wheels, and I went into the back of Delete. It seemed like he braked early at the same time as well, so it was a two-way thing, mostly on my end. But I apologise to him and everything for that. But the RBM driving today was completely and utterly disgraceful. Braddock held me up by 10 seconds, pushing me off the track, brake checking me, everything. All three of them did it, him surprising Vinny. So I want to submit something because it was just completely ridiculous.
Well, and obviously, if there's anything to discuss, that'll be handled after the events today. And it seemed like it was a little frustrating for you throughout the race. Obviously, dealing with Braddock
More than
a
frustrating.
little bit. And then obviously having to battle your way back through the field, and then to get to Vinny at the end. You guys went 3 wide into the hairpin at one point, and I know Surprise was still out there on his first go-around, so he never made the pit stop at that time. But you were able to get back up to the front, do some battling there with Vinny at the end. And obviously there's still 8 more weeks left in the series, but overall it was a tough day for a couple of the drivers. I know Bobberts had a rough day out there too. But coming back next week, what are you looking to do? How you plan on doing it? And how do you get off of a tough week like this going into the upcoming weeks?
Completely crushing RBM. That's my plan. They deserve it.
Well, that being said, congratulations on a top 5 finish, Hydra, and we'll be talking to you very soon. And obviously your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, RBM Vinny, for a second week in a row, was able to pick up another win here at Suzuka. Congratulations to him. And we've only had a few of the drivers lag out. Delete lagging out at the very end of the race, ladies and gentlemen. He was running 5th. That's got to be a gut-wrencher for him, as he ran really hard there to get back inside the top 5, and I'm sure he'll come back stronger than ever next week. But congratulations to all the drivers here today. We had over 60 drivers competing. Only a few of the drivers in each lobby weren't able to make it. And we'll see you guys next week here at MEA. As I'm SSR Mayhem, wish you all farewell and good night, and we'll see you next time.